air. Gold bells shining, they all dare. Tougher, fists held high. Warriors fight till the night says die. FWE, where battles divine. Every broken bone, all by design. Chained to the thrill, they let it be. This ain't a game, it's FWE. FWE, where battles define. Every broken bone, all by design. Chained to the thrill, they let it be. This ain't a game, it's FWE. Oh, FWE, FWE. Oh, FWE, FWE. Where battles define. Every broken bone, all by design. Chained to the thrill, they let it be. This ain't a game, it's FWE.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside the FWE Fantasy Dome. 21 mere days away from the showcase of the Immortals at FWE Paramount. We welcome you in here tonight. I'm Seth Cole, going to be joined shortly by my broadcast colleague, the Tri-Wizard champion, Jack Mitchell. But he's got a little bit to take care of in tonight's opening matchup, as it's going to be champion versus champion.
The following champion versus champion contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 200 pounds, the Men's World Champion, Jack Mitchell!
Well, in 21 days, Jack Mitchell will put that FWE Tri-Wizard Championship on the line against the Royal Rumble winner, Ernie the Keebler Elf. Tonight, he'll be taking on Matt McIntyre in one-on-one action. A little warm-up for both of these individuals, who will both be putting their respective belts on the line at the biggest show of them all. Of course, as well, weighing on the back of Jack Mitchell's mind, it's got to be the fact that Dylan Young has kind of entered into the picture once again. We saw him insert himself inside of Elimination Chamber in the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship match a couple of weeks ago at FWE Mortal Kombat. First things first, and Jack Mitchell sets his sights on Paramount.
And his opponent from Evansville, Indiana, weighing in at 192 pounds, the United States Champion, Matt McIntyre!
And it was an interesting point my broadcast colleague Jack Mitchell brought up this past Saturday night at FWE Extra, the fact that both he and Matt McIntyre have a common enemy in our Royal Rumble winner, Ernie the Elf. It's interesting when you kind of look at the storylines here, because Matt McIntyre went to war time after time after time against Ernie, to the point that he was able to get Ernie indefinitely suspended. But then, to be able to get the United States Championship match against Gaston, FWE Commissioner said that Matt McIntyre had to reinstate Ernie the Keebler Elf back onto the FWE roster. Ernie would then go on to win the Royal Rumble and now has a shot at the Tri-Wizard Championship that is around the waist of Jack Mitchell. So these two, in a sense, have affected each other's storylines, and Ernie is the man in the middle. Matt McIntyre ending the longest reigning United States champion. Gaston's grasp on that title, and now looking for a lengthy title reign of his own. And here we go, champion versus champion. Neither title on the line, just an opportunity here maybe for a little bragging rights, a little warm-up match in preparation for Paramount. We mentioned Jack Mitchell, he's going to be defending against Ernie the Keebler Elf. We found out this past Saturday night that Hagrid is now the new #1 contender for Matt McIntyre's United States title, and that will be defended at Paramount as well. Hagrid winning an 8-man over-the-top rope battle royal. Massive knee up there under the jaw. And now trying to cinch in. Not even sure this is submission, just trying to wear down that arm. Think about it too. We're 3 weeks away from Paramount. Neither one of these two individuals can afford any type of an injury and give either Ernie or Hagrid a weak point to be able to zone in on when they defend those titles. As well, Irish whipped off the ropes. Jack Mitchell now with a shot there to the back of the head, followed up after the knee. Well, Matt McIntyre, member of the family, we're continuing to try and be a fly on the wall on that storyline as it gets turned inside out. Does Matt McIntyre with the clothesline. Mitchell into the cover and a kick out at 1. We saw 1 short week ago the fallout between Michael Norman and Anthony McCurry. It got to the point where Michael Norman powerbombed Anthony through our announce table. Anthony McCurry, as far as we are aware, is currently MIA. We don't know if he's got an injury or what the case may be, but what we do know is that next Thursday night, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles get their opportunity at the tag team titles, which currently are in the possession of Cole Eastwood and the missing Anthony McCurry. So we'll have to wait and see if Anthony returns in time for that title defend as DDT there by Matt McIntyre to Jack Mitchell. Overhand chop. And now the suplex doesn't go for the bridge, however. And again, working on that left arm of Jack Mitchell that we saw him use the dragon screw with earlier. And now working on the right arm. And now going to hit a dragon screw on that one, trying to take away all of Jack Mitchell's offense. Think about it, you target those appendages, those upper appendages, that takes away the sling blade, that takes away the Samoan drop, Superman punch. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's Ernie. And he's got the title belt. Ernie the Keebler Elf has got the Tri-Wizard Championship and is trying to make off with it. Jack has just noticed. And rips the title belt back away from Ernie. Oh, but then there's Matt McIntyre going to capitalize. Big right hand, and Mitchell is down after the distraction by Ernie, trying to make off with the Tri-Wizard Championship. He was unsuccessful. That title belt still there on the floor. But what a strange turn of events. Matt McIntyre going to gain the upper hand by, of all people, the interference of one of his most hated rivals here on the roster. Float over DDT. And now Mitchell back up and over the top rope. Matt McIntyre brings the Tri-Wizard champion out to the floor. Referee going to be administering the 10 count here momentarily. There he begins it. There's no titles on the line. No titles would change hands in a count out. Even a double count out is, oh, Jack going to catch Matt right on the top of the head with that kick. Now deposits Matt McIntyre back in between the ropes. Oh, big kick there. After re-entering into the ring, Matt crawling over to the corner to prop himself up. And now Mitchell gonna put him in the tree of woe. This cannot be good if you're Matt McIntyre. Debilitating knees right into the midsection, lower rib cage area. And now, Samoan drop. Cover is in. Jack Mitchell to put away Matt McIntyre, who kicks out at 2. Oh, the crowd here in Albany, New York in the Fantasy Dome loving this opening matchup. Just a taste of what we're getting here tonight as we draw ever closer to Paramount. What a move by Mitchell. Knee right on the cheekbone, and now raining in the left hands. And now the right hoists him up again. Is he looking maybe for another Samoan drop? No, instead he'll hit a Falcon Arrow. Moonsault off the top rope. Does not go for the cover, however. And now going to bring Matt over to the corner once again. There you see October 30th, 7 o'clock. The biggest show of them all here in FWE at Paramount. We've already got a quartet of matches we know are going to take place. A lot still to be determined as a big running boot in the corner. And Matt may not want to get to his feet. Mitchell is set up. Sling Blade hits. That's going to have to do it. Cover is in. And Jack Mitchell will pick up the victory over Matt McIntyre.
Here is your winner, Jack Mitchell.
Well, the distraction by Ernie the Keebler Elf did not pay dividends. Jack Mitchell went right back to work. He wins this opening matchup, and he will look to do the same when we get to Paramount with that Tri-Wizard title on the line. There you see it, Ernie the Elf, Jack Mitchell, Tri-Wizard Championship on the line at FWE Paramount. We'll see you guys here right after this commercial break. Up next, Jessica Shelton fights Ursula.
If you think that any team chemistry can beat the bonds of sisterhood, think again. This FWE Women's Tag Team Division is going to learn what it feels like to fall to the greatest duo to hail from the halls of Arendelle. Ground game, bare-knuckle brawling, high-flying, technical prowess, you name it, we do it all. Bring on all challengers, we will always remain at the top of the tag team food chain. I'm Anna, and this is my sister Elsa, the best female duo in FWE competition. Send your best and we'll put them down. This is our division, and we are not letting it go.
Well, Team Let It Go may have an opportunity at those tag team titles so they can continue to progress further in our miniature tournament that we've been having here to determine the new #1 contenders at Paramount. My broadcast colleague Jack Mitchell has joined me back here at the commentary desk. Great match for you there, Jack. Congratulations on the victory.
First time I've been busted open in an FWE match ever. Glad that the medical team was able to help me out there and let me get back to commentating. Gotta say though, not entirely thrilled about what happened there ringside during that match.
Fortunately, he didn't make off with your title there and didn't really cause any type of distraction. Let's take a look at what's in the future for Jess.
Jessie, you fight pretty good, honey. And I'll admit, you got guts. There aren't many women on this roster that would have agreed to meet me in this ring on my terms. Heck, there aren't many women on this roster that would have taken me to the limit that you did. Am I crazy for saying that I had the most fun that I've ever had in a long time? 'Cause it's true. So, Jessie, I have a proposal for you. How about you and I take each other to the ultimate limit? How about we go back to Gotham Rules for, say, 20 minutes? See who can really last longest. Oh, and to really whet your appetite, how about we do it on the grandest stage, FWE Paramount? No rules, no restrictions, just two tough gals kicking the ever-loving crap out of each other. And I know what you're thinking, but hardly, what if you lose the hardcore title along the way? Oh, sweetie, don't you worry your pretty little head about that. This title is not going anywhere. So, what do you say, Jessica? You Me. 20 minutes. Gotham rules, Paramount. Hardcore title on the line. Hope you accept pudding. I can't wait. Let's have some fun again.
There you saw it after last week when Harley Quinn issued the open challenge and Jessica Shelton took Harley to the limit. We saw this past Saturday night, FWE Extra, Harley throwing out that challenge for Jess and She to run it back at the Showcase of the Immortals.
Jessica Shelton, definitely a fantastic opportunity for her to get a little bit of revenge. Unfortunately for her, she's the poor, unfortunate soul that has to be in the ring with Ursula right now. This might be a bit of a brutal matchup.
Opportunity here for Jessica Shelton to maybe make a bit of a statement to Harley Quinn. Of course, we ended up seeing Harley Quinn win the hardcore title back at Mortal Kombat in what was, well, you can't really even call it that much of a tight battle. It was a runaway, let's be perfectly honest. But when she put the title on the line last week against Jessica Shelton, she only won with a 2-0 victory, and a number of times we thought she was going to get a pinfall or submission, and Jess was able to get out of the situation. So Harley kind of admiring what Jess was able to bring to the table. We'll see if Jess can make a bit of a statement here with a victory over Ursula. And kind of an interesting point of note here too, Ursula's been in the hardcore title picture a couple of times here. Remember, she and Ariel went at it for the #1 contendership for the hardcore title. Ariel ended up winning and eventually won the title belt back from Wonder Woman. So Ursula's kind of been a stepping stone, it seems, here for anybody that's trying to get to the hardcore title.
Bit of a gatekeeper, if you will.
Yeah.
Kick to the head. Jessica Shelton obviously able to really impress the current hardcore champion Harley Quinn enough to want a rematch. So it makes you wonder though, is that how much of that is Jessica being like really strong at that match type versus is Harley Quinn just that insane? Probably both.
Yeah. You know, I mean, we mentioned it when she first invoked Gotham Rules back at Mortal Kombat about the fact that it's her playground, right? It's her rules, it's her match. And I was kind of thinking about this too. While you are the inventor of the matchup, and I know that there's no disqualifications, there's no countouts, false count anywhere. I know that there's very little that you can exploit, but when you're the inventor of something, you then know all the different facets in how you can maybe twist it into your favor. Now, Jess has got the experience of a Gotham Rules match, but let's remember too, we're doubling the clock. It was an expedited 10-minute matchup. Now we're going 20 minutes when we get to Paramount. That's going to be a true test of endurance.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be insane endurance. I don't know how Jess was able to lift Ursula like that.
Ursula able to fight out there, though. That was a submission move. And, oh, wow, just pushes her right back here. I believe the back of her head hit our announce desk.
It looked like it was as brutal as it probably could have been. Yeah, we get it, Ursula. Going off a little bit in front of the announce table.
Oh, and now midsection into the steps.
Okay, that one feels a little bit more relatable. When Matt McIntyre hit me with that punch when I was focused on Ernie, my head hit the steel plating on the ramp. It's not a pretty landing.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, too, because, you know, you kind of look at the situation, and we've talked about the fact that you and Ernie going to be going at it for the Tri-Wizard Championship at Paramount, and it just kind of seemed like it's a done deal and nothing untoward, and then all of a sudden Ernie decides to from out of nowhere take the title belt. Like, I don't know, is he trying to make this personal? He's trying to get into your head? I don't know what's going on there, but interesting he picks his moment now as we're just 3 weeks away.
I mean, I'll just put it to you this way. That shows you that he doesn't take the title seriously. If he's just trying to worry about getting in my head like that, he's just trying to do little underhanded stuff like that to piss me off. He's probably not ready for the responsibility of holding this championship. So all the more reason for motivation.
I know this is probably a rhetorical question, but there's no chance that he and Matt are colluding together, right?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Just going for the cover here on Ursula, and wow, it's over just like that. One kick, that's all it takes.
She hit a huge super kick while we were having that conversation. Oh, look out here.
Oh, and look at this. Harley Quinn, who issued that challenge. Maybe giving a little congratulatory nod there to Jess in preparation for their hardcore title match at Paramount. As Gotham rules, 20 minutes inside or outside the ring, dependent on where you're at. Paramount is where it's going to be taking place. Harley defending against Jessica Shelton. We'll be right back after this break.
You want to know how I got these scars? Not from wrestling, that's for sure. You see, because whenever I step inside of an FWE ring, I'm the one that's dealing out the punishment. And you know what? I love it. I sit backstage before my match just thinking of the many ways I can twist and torture my victims. That's the mindset of all of us in the Gotham inmates. Right, baby?
That's right, Puddin'.
So just remember that the next time you're standing across the ring from me, that although I may don an appearance of a man that borders on the insane, inside this head is a ticking time bomb of a brain, constantly calculating one move ahead of anything you can possibly imagine. So do yourself a favor, just stay out of our way. Otherwise, I won't be responsible for the consequences. FWE, welcome to your worst nightmare.
We welcome you back here to FWE, getting ready for the next leg of our women's #1 contenders tag team tournament.
Tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring, the Bad Girls.
It's been one of the most fun tournaments to follow over the course of FWE these last few weeks. And I think you were going to talk about Nebula, no longer the female fighting champion.
Exactly, yep. No longer has that title belt around her waist after losing it inside of the Elimination Chamber at Mortal Kombat. Now trying to get back into the tag team championship scene. Gamora and Nebula, former tag team champions in their own right.
Opportunity to have more gold around your waist in a different capacity, albeit, but as I was saying, this has been a really fun tournament to watch so far as we get closer and closer determining who's going to take on the Disney Queens at Paramount.
Team Let It Go has already moved on. This past Saturday night, we saw the Avengers team of Shuri and Black Widow moving on. We understand those are going to be the two teams going up against each other in the semifinals. And now we will look to see who is going to be moving on here on, I guess you could say, this side of the bracket. Well, we've seen some very strange alliances before here in FWE, and this might be one of the strangest.
Add another one to the list.
Snow White, the Evil Queen, Grimhilda. Yeah, there may have been a past history where she wanted Snow White's heart in a box, but, you know, I guess when tag team titles are on the line, you put those differences aside. I don't know.
We saw Kim Possible and Shigo do it.
Well, you go back to Saturday night. Mentioned about the fact that Shuri and Black Widow, they've never held the tag team titles together. Heck, I think that might have been their first tag team matchup together overall here in FWE, and they were able to topple a team that had already held championship gold here in FWE and Shigo and Kim Possible. So we can't take Evil Queen and Snow White lightly here.
Can't take anyone lightly. At the end of the day, that's just how it's going to go. Standard tag team rules for this one, obviously, so there will be tags, there will be countouts, all that, all the rules that we see applied to normal tag team matchups.
Nebula, a former two-time fighting female champion. And as mentioned, a former tag team champion as well, squaring off here in the opening against Snow White, who really for the most part we've seen in Battle Royals. We saw her make an appearance inside of the Royal Rumble as well, but we really haven't seen her anywhere close to a title picture. So really the first time that we're seeing her vying for championship gold here in FWE.
For the first time in a while. I'm pretty sure Snow White was actually involved back in Infinity War Games. She was in a Fatal 5-Way. Forget what title was on the line, but I think she was involved in a matchup like that. I'll have to go back and check my notes there.
Big forearm, Snow White down and out, and gonna kick out at 1.
Oh, here we go with the 10 beats. I feel like we see this move quite a lot frequently, and the crowd loves it.
And just see Evil Queen just flapjack to the floor there, takes her out of the equation. Smart move there by Nebula, but now also equally smart by Snow White, drawing Nebula to the outside, buying herself a little bit of an opportunity for Evil Queen to get her wits about her.
Absolutely, there's a big shot to the head. So I did go back and check my notes. Can't confirm that Snow White was in the Fatal 5-Way at Infinity War Games. She lost the Hardcore Championship match to Wonder Woman.
Okay.
That was, I'm pretty sure that was the last time we've seen her in any kind of title picture.
Big kick there from Nebula, maybe playing a little possum, as here comes Gamora. Oh, gracious!
Oh my goodness. I say this just about every time Gamora steps in the ring nowadays. I'm going to try my best to call this one down the middle, but of course Gamora and I were working together when we won that Fairly Odd Partners Challenge, so.
Weisga Mitchell runs deep as there's a disaster kick right off the middle rope. Caught Snow White flush. A great moonsault there by Nebula. Kind of had to change directions in mid-air. Had to turn her body 90 degrees, but hits it. You saw Evil Queen gonna break up that pinfall, and Gamora gonna take care of business on the outside.
I know we're still pretty early into this matchup, but I feel like that huge kick by Gamora might have been enough to put Snow White away if there wasn't Evil Queen right there to try to break up the pin.
I don't doubt it. Oh, look at this. Now
look out.
Nebula gonna deposit Snow White to the outside. What is Nebula thinking here? Look out, ref.
Oh! And now Nebula's going to break up the other fight happening between her sister and the Evil Queen.
Referee Ernest Wright admonishing them to get back in the ring. Spinning forearm there by Nebula. And now Gamora just going to rein in the left hands, and now right hands here by Nebula.
The daughters of Thanos in control. None of the action happening between the ropes, though, as you see Ernest Wright's already on a 6 count. Snow White deposited back in, now Nebula back in.
Both league participants in, so referee's count will stop. Gamora back up on the apron. Evil Queen will do the same. And here comes Evil Queen off the tag from Snow White.
Oh, look out. Nebula a little too distracted, trying to hype up the audience.
Well, these two know each other very well. Both of these women were inside of that Elimination Chamber match with the Female Fighting Championship on the line. Neither one successful. Nebula lost the title. Evil Queen, I believe, was the second one, eliminated. I think Jasmine was the first one eliminated in that matchup.
Queen now definitely getting the audience on her side. There's the hot tag. Gamora is legal. Oh, went for some kind of double axe handle or something.
I'm not sure if she was trying to get Gamora or Nebula. She may not have seen the tag and thought that Nebula was still legal, as here's the cover. Pretty close to the ropes there. Doesn't matter. Snow White will break it up.
Snow White was able to get just enough air to break that one up because he saw a referee was in the way of that. Another big kick by Gamora. And a quick tag is made. I'm not sure how fresh Snow White's going to be.
Fresh enough to deliver a DDT, and here's the cover on Gamora. And kick out at 1.
Well, I'm eating my own words in real time right there. Fresh enough to make that huge DDT connect, and Gamora just having enough wherewithal to kick out, but now she's sent back to the canvas.
Into, it's kind of almost like a suspended power bomb there without following through. Big kick there from Gamora. Now Snow White in the corner.
Here we go.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I don't know what Nebula was going for. She misses, and now she's locked herself in the Tree of Woe. Snow White can be able to take advantage. You could pull a hamstring or something like that. You could tweak your knee. Tear an ACL. That could have been really bad for Gamora.
That's dangerous. I say that having
Big
put
Superman
Matt
punch
into the Tree of Woe earlier. There's a huge Superman punch. Could this be it? Broken up.
That probably would have been it if Grimhilda had not broken up that pinfall. But it may be all but the crying over. There's the back fist. Lights out by Snow White. Here's the cover to advance in the tournament, and Daughters of Thanos will do just that.
Here are your winners, the Bad Girls.
Laura and Nebula, their chemistry as sisters definitely paying dividends here as they advance in this tournament. We're getting closer and closer to finding out who's going to be the #1 contenders for the Women's Disney Tag Team Championships when we get to Paramount. More action on FWE coming up after the break.
People have doubted me since day one, saying I was just riding on the coattails of the crew. But then I showed them. I won Money in the Bank. I cashed it in. I became the FWE Women's World Champion, and I have successfully defended it night after night. Now I head into my toughest match yet, to perform under the bright lights of FWE Paramount, with one of the toughest women on the roster ready to do anything it takes to win my title. Believe me, I do not take Mulan lightly. But I also feel that every match I've gone through has me well prepared. So now I focus up, keep a wary eye on the horizon and see the task before me. I will walk into Paramount with this belt, and I will be walking out still your FWE Women's World Champion.
Well, indeed, Elizabeth Swann will have that Women's World Championship on the line at Paramount, and she now prepares for action here tonight against who may down the line be a future #1 contender for her title belt.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring from Kingston, Jamaica, the Women's Universal Champion, Elizabeth Turner.
We talk about dominant title reigns a lot in FWE, and this is the most dominant one. We've done the math. By the time we hit Paramount, the day of Paramount, Elizabeth Swann is going to have held the Women's World Championship of the Galaxy for, I believe, 162 days, something like that, something around that number.
I believe you're right. I mean, it's astronomical number. She's held it ever since she cashed in Money in the Bank back at Sugar Rush. She successfully has defended it at Royal Brawl Saturday night at Springfield and looks to do the same here when we get to the biggest stage of them all at Paramount. But interesting how this matchup has come about, Jack, because we go back to that fatal four-way eliminator match that she was a part of, trying to pretty much put all three women at the back of the line. Poison Ivy got the victory in that fatal four-way, but she did not pin or submit the champion. So here tonight, in a one-on-one, if she can put Elizabeth Swann away, one would certainly have to think that a future title shot is going to be coming for one half of Havoc.
Absolutely. Elizabeth Swann hasn't had that many title defenses, but I mean, I feel like that number is almost arbitrary because we go back and we take a look at what she's done during her championship reign. She's been issuing open challenge after open challenge, basically between PLEs, trying to find a new #1 contender, and she's turned aside just about everybody.
We've also seen her in tag team action during the course of that span as well.
And from parts unknown, Ivy!
We saw Poison Ivy in the corner of her faction mate, Harley Quinn. We were back at Mortal Kombat. Played quite a bit of a factor in that too. If you recall, she ended up stopping Ariel a number of times from retrieving weapons underneath the ring.
And that's just the thing about what makes a Gotham Rules match so brutal, is that there's no DQ, so if you want to bring somebody in ringside to help you out, it's legal.
see if Poison Ivy can capitalize on this opportunity here, become the new #1 contender for the Women's World Championship. If I recall correctly, I believe it was Cruella DeVille that she pinned in that fatal 4-way. So now trying to see if she can take the champion to the limits. And I just thought of something here too. I mean, we already know, it's confirmed that Elizabeth Swann is going to be defending the Women's World Championship at Paramount. We know Mulan is going to be fighting for that title as the #1 contender, winning the Royal Rumble.
Oh.
I mean, if Poison Ivy pins or submits Elizabeth Swann here, and Elizabeth loses the title at Paramount, does that then mean that Poison Ivy's in line for the title belt with Mulan having it in her possession? Would that scenario still continue?
I feel like that's a fair argument to make. I mean, you know, obviously you think about things like the champion invoking their rematch clause and things like that, but that's not really in play. This is not an eliminator match, so I almost wonder that would probably put her in a good spot to be the first challenger for the title if it does change hands at the show of shows, which you see corner of your screen October 30th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's our biggest show of the year, FWE Paramount.
It was our go-home show where we saw Poison Ivy in that fatal 4-way matchup. It was actually the first time we ever saw her make an appearance inside of an FWE ring. Very impressive, and now see what she can do. One-on-one matchup, she suckered the champion in, and Elizabeth Swann crashes and burns with the over-the-top senton.
Speaking of impressive, she was able to dodge that swanton move.
That could be what they call the turning point of this matchup, as champion is down. Poison Ivy gonna try and see if she can capitalize on this opportunity with the rare mistake by the Women's World Champion.
I mean, we've been going back and forth in this matchup. We saw already that there was a move jumping from the top rope to the outside of the ring, and that's an even longer drop than normal. And then we have that little exchange happening just now, which, as you said, could be the turning point.
And I kind of documented this as well in your opening matchup against Matt McIntyre. I mean, the two of you defending your titles at Paramount really can't afford any type of an injury, any kind of a weak point for the challenger to zone in on. Kind of same case here for Elizabeth Swann. Yes, she wants to put Poison Ivy out of the title picture, but at what cost are you doing this? You don't want to run a scenario as referee at a count of 9 here. Well, that's going to reset after Elizabeth Swann exits the ring again. This time she hits the senton, but you know, if you're Mulan, if you're watching this, you've got to be keeping an eye on maybe any weaknesses that Elizabeth Swann may have in this matchup, depending on what kind of punishment Poison Ivy can dish out.
That's what you should be doing. Don't do what Ernie did. Don't run into the ring and try to cause some chaos like that.
Back body drop there onto the floor. Referee at a count of 6. Elizabeth back into the ring. Poison Ivy will roll into the bottom rope as well. Oh, wow. And then just catches Elizabeth Swann with that kick on the side of the head. Now raining in the rights and lefts.
More kicks. Big one to the head. I have no idea why Elizabeth even went to the corner in the first place. I don't know if she was maybe waiting for some kind of move or something, but now she's being met with kick after kick. Cover was made, but referee called for the rope break.
I believe her right foot was under the rope there, so good call by a referee to make sure that pinfall did not take place. Maybe a little inexperience there by Poison Ivy. It's her first one-on-one matchup.
Maybe. Oh, Elizabeth.
Oh! Well, Ivy had it dodged the first time, did not dodge the drop kick, though.
And now a bunch of clotheslines coming into play.
Sweeps out the leg. Elizabeth Swann fired up. Cover in here on Poison Ivy, and she'll kick out at 2. And we've seen it so many times here as well. It seems like the longer the matchup goes, the more Elizabeth Swann seems to get better and better and better.
I feel like that's kind of been the case with most of the champions that we've seen. I mean, if you're not able to capitalize on an opportunity that you get late in the matchup, it could be your downfall.
Drop kick to the back of the head. Standing moonsault. And another one for good measure. Cover is in by the champion Elizabeth Swann, and a kick out at 2.
Man, I don't know how you're able to kick out of all that if you're Poison Ivy on the receiving end of all those swantons.
Oh, now up over the top rope goes Elizabeth Swann. Oh no, and
Here
now
we go
Poison
again.
Ivy gonna rein in the 10 beats of the batter.
Crowd absolutely loves this move.
If anyone leaves the FWA Fantasy Dome and doesn't know how to count to 10, then I don't know what to tell you. Whoa, wait, hold on.
Speaking of counting to 10, when we saw the turnbuckle pad get removed.
I don't think the
Referee
referee
was not paying
saw that
attention.
though.
Could be a bit of a factor in this match if the referee gets distracted trying to repair that turnbuckle.
Have to see here is, Poison Ivy might be setting up. Yes, indeed, gonna lock in the Ivy Vine submission. We saw her put this, I believe it was on Cruella, back during that fatal four-way. May have lost her grip there. It almost looked like maybe Elizabeth Swann kind of slipped out there, but here's the cover by Poison Ivy. And kick out at 2.
You're Poison Ivy. I don't know how you feel about that. You just took your best shot and it did not pay out. Look out here. She's got a whole lot of ground to cover. Tell Elizabeth Swann, get up to your feet.
Oh, hits a massive kick there. Cobra Kai-like kick, moonsault off the ropes. Champ is in trouble here as the right hands rein in. Kick for good measure.
Another one.
Another moonsault. No cover, surprisingly, though. Oh, and that may cost her! The Pirate's Plunge!
Good night.
Oh! Oh my gosh!
How?
Have we ever seen anyone kick out of the Pirate's Plunge before?
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
She has put away so many women with that move, but Poison Ivy was able to slip out. But it may be all over, but the cry is the moonsault is hit to perfection. Here's the cover. Referee was looking, I think, at the exposed turnbuckle. Now he sees the shoulders are down, and he'll count 3.
The ref was too busy looking at the turnbuckle. It didn't matter.
Wow.
Poison Ivy was not getting up from that one.
I know she didn't win, but what a show. Oh, wait, hold on. That's Mulan, the #1 contender for the Women's World Championship.
Referee trying to tell Mulan to get out of here, but Mulan doesn't seem interested, and the champion is down.
And now what is Mulan doing? Mulan's underneath the ring. Oh my gosh, she's got a table.
Oh no.
Mulan with bad intentions. Referee better scramble. Right hand drops Elizabeth Swann down, and Mulan now setting up that table in the center of the ring. I talked about it. Weak points. Mulan may have found one.
I said don't do it earlier, but it seemed like that message went completely ignored.
Oh no. Looking for the choke slam through the table.
Down goes the champion. Mulan says, I'll see you at Paramount.
Mulan firing a shot across the bow.
I may have the appearance of a princess, but I have the heart of a warrior. Don't take the glitz and glamour at face value. I've quickly adapted to how one survives on the street, and am not afraid to get down and dirty if the situation requires it. Using my wide variety of skills, I'm ready to stay one jump ahead of the competition and enter into a whole new world of championship gold. My name is Jasmine, and with my girls, we're ready to take over the FWE Women's Division with an iron fist. I'm trapped behind the palace walls no longer.
Well, we welcome you back here to FWE as we prepare for our main event. Elizabeth Swann had to be helped to the back after an attack by Mulan, putting her through a table after Swann was able to knock off Poison Ivy in a really, really good matchup. But now, Carson Gump, we saw him Saturday night. Looks like he's got some intentions for the Cruiserweight Championship. We understand Harry Potter has some words for Carson.
So Carson, you want a chance at Eternal Glory, do you? Let's just say I know a thing or two about what it takes to achieve that when my name was unwillingly placed in the Goblet of Fire. You, however, seem willing to pay whatever the cost may be to win this Cruiserweight title. So I wonder, just how far are you willing to go? I'll give you a shot at this if you are willing to go through your own Goblet of Fire. 3 tasks. Task 1, defeat Dumbledore. Task 2, defeat Hagrid. And if by some miracle you manage to make it that far, the final task will be me. You succeed, and I'll put the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship on the line at FWE Paramount. Best of luck, Carson. You're gonna need it.
Sounds like the gauntlet has been laid down for Carson Young. One by one, he's going to be taking on the members of the Order of the Phoenix, and if he succeeds, he'll get a title shot at the Showcase of the Immortals.
First on tap tonight, going to be Albus Dumbledore of the Order of the Phoenix. Carson, think about this. If Carson wins, he moves on to face Hagrid. If he doesn't win, that's it. I mean, that's a shot. It's gone.
And that almost kind of makes you wonder. Mike Rowe finished his job. Almost kind of makes you wonder, where does Harry Potter go if he doesn't have a contender at Paramount? Does he even get to defend the title?
Great point.
I mean, it's shaping up to be a massive show. We've been calling it our biggest show of the year just because of the placement on the calendar and everything, and that being established as our pinnacle premium live event. But of course, the matchups and the storylines leading into it, they feel like they've really been building up these last few weeks. Just today alone, there's been all kinds of chaos.
I mean, at this point in time, we at least know 4 matchups that are going to be taking place at Paramount. We know the Triwizard Championship, we know that the Women's World Championship, the United States Championship, and the Women's Tag Team Championships. They are all going to be on the line. We don't yet have any word on the Intercontinental Championship. Of course, right now, this matchup kind of has the Cruiserweight Championship hanging in the balance. We know the men's tag team titles, they're going to be on the line next week. We're still trying to get an update on the whereabouts of Anthony McCrory after he was brutally assaulted last week by fellow Family Faction member Michael Norman. So while we do have quite a number of matches already established, there's still a lot of question marks here in these final few weeks leading up to Paramount.
Yeah, we're only 21 days away though, so these questions are going to be answered really quickly over these next few weeks. No major obstacles between here and there. No more PLEs leading up to the show of shows. We've only got these weekly episodes, the weekly FWE Extra episodes on Saturday, and then once we're done with episode 25, we're there. Cannot wait to be there in Orlando.
Carson Gum laying in the boots to the chest of Albus Dumbledore. Of course, we know that a lot of things kind of going in favor of the Order right now. Harry Potter, the current Wayfinder Cruiser champion. Hagrid's the now #1 contender for the United States Championship at Paramount. And Albus Dumbledore here, an opportunity to play his own part, basically slamming the door shut on Carson Gum's Cruiserweight Championship hopes. But Carson, the deceptive power of the Texan, lifting, bench pressing Dumbledore a couple of times there before delivering him down to the ground. And how about that headbutt right there?
That was a strong one. Didn't quite make sure that Dumbledore's hand wasn't under the rope though.
There you see it, folks. October 30th, Halloween's Eve, if you will. The Showcase of the Immortals, FWE Paramount. Our biggest PLE of the year is Carson. Up to the middle rope, gonna hit the splash. No cover, however, and Dumbledore will take that opportunity to go to the outside.
This action is gonna spill ringside. I can only imagine what kind of madness these two are gonna get up to here in our main event tonight. We've seen plenty of it already.
Carson lifting Dumbledore up from a deadlift, delivers the Dominator on the outside.
There's almost no padding on that concrete floor outside. Now he has Dumbledore lifted
Oh,
up again.
Gosh! But keep an eye on the referee's count here, though. Running power slam to the outside. Carson cannot afford a count out. If it's a double count out, that's effectively a double loss, and that would be his Cruiserweight Championship hopes gone.
Counts at 7, and Carson is only just now making a move to get back into the ring. But if you're Dumbledore, you're in major trouble as there was a knee attempt to the head. It doesn't look like it connected, though. Dumbledore fighting out of it.
And now might be looking for that heel hook, putting pressure on the ankle, on the knee region. Carson shifts the hips, though, and is going to fight out.
Just barely able to get out of it. Now Carson has an opportunity to get back on the offensive, which he does, and now we're going to go shot for shot.
Carson getting the better of this exchange here as Dumbledore yet to hit a shot, and now, oh wow, right on the bridge of the nose, that closed fist, and now just wearing out the back of Dumbledore.
Dumbledore cannot be feeling good after all those moves that were hit on the outside of the ring.
Now just back elbows there in the corner. Dumbledore crumples to the mat, and Jack, I'm being told here after what we just saw take place between Mulan and Elizabeth Swan, there has been a stipulation made in place here. It's nice reversal by Dumbledore into the reverse DDT. The Women's World Championship now at Paramount will be defended in a 2 out of 3 tables match. I've never heard of that before.
I've never heard of that before either, but what it sounds like it is a combination of a 2 out of 3 falls match and a tables match. So I'm guessing that the stipulation is you have to put your opponent through a table twice to win.
Oh,
Big
and there's
stomp.
the curb stomp by Dumbledore. That's got to be it. Well, Carson had a good idea of trying to get to Paramount. Oh!
Oh!
He kicked out at 2 on the curb stomp.
What is with all these crazy kickouts we're seeing tonight?
This crowd here in the Fantasy Dome, they can't believe what they're seeing.
Their chance of we're not worthy.
Dumbledore with the go behind now. Takes Carson down, and Carson gonna roll to the outside. I don't know if that's safety or not. Dumbledore says it's not, hits the leg drop.
It's not. It's not safety for either of them at this point, let's be honest, but Dumbledore doesn't care. He's trying to shut down Carson Gumb's path to the Cruiserweight title.
By any means necessary. You gotta think he had his marching orders from Harry Potter before he came out here tonight.
Absolutely. I'm still mind blown that that Carson was able to kick out of that curb stomp, as there was a DDT, but it looks like Dumbledore kind of in some pain after delivering that move.
Again, referees count up at 5. Carson gonna get back into the ring here, might be willing to take a count out victory. And
I mean,
Dumbledore.
we saw Poison Ivy earlier kick out of the Pirate's Plunder, or Pirate's Plunge, whatever it's called, and now this.
Uh-oh. Carson's got Dumbledore up and down with the power bomb. Normally we see him go for the cover with that, but instead, oh, maybe making sure he gets him away from the ropes. He had a rope break issue the first time he went for a cover. Now cinches it in. Can Carson eliminate Dumbledore? Yes, he can. Carson has completed the first task.
2 more tasks lay in front of him, but so far, so good for Carson Gumbs.
2 more tasks to go. Hagrid and Harry Potter wait in the wings and stand in his way of getting to FWE Paramount. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you Saturday night for FWE Extra.